Okay, Tony Mormino here, and here in the cabin for this episode. I just got home from a trip, and there's nobody here, so it's all quiet. And I was going to relax, but I wanted to do a quick video on Friday afternoon posting on LinkedIn, which is kind of a special time to relate to your audience. It's a good way to show them, hey, this week was hard for me too. I get it. I feel you. But we left it all on the field. Let's move on to the weekend. Give yourself a break. So it's that kind of a tone when you go to post on a Friday afternoon. So things not to post on a Friday afternoon is something highly technical, which I used to do all the time. No one really wants to talk about psychometrics and how to calculate the tonnage of a chiller on a Friday afternoon. People are worn out. They're tired. They want to relax. They want to relate to people who are feeling the same way they're feeling. Okay? So I try to post things along those lines. And just general posting on LinkedIn in general, I try to follow the schedule of a person who, is eating normal time meals. So you've got morning, which is breakfast, lunch, which is around noonish, and then 5 or 6 o'clock, which is more of your dinner time. Okay, so that's consistently how I post every day. So weekends is a little bit different. Don't worry about weekends for now if you're just starting out getting in a routine on LinkedIn. And put it in the chat if you want more details on the schedule, and I'll show you where to get that. So morning, midday, and evening. So this is the evening. As a matter of fact, at the time I'm recording this, it's almost 5 o'clock on a Friday evening. That's what made me think, well, I'll do a Friday afternoon video post and talk a little bit about that. So let me show you historically what I've posted on Fridays so you can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about, okay? So this program I'm using here is called Authored Up. You don't need this. It's a specific, I don't know, what do you call it? A content manager for LinkedIn only. Okay, it's a great program. If you want more information on this, put it in the chat or the notes to this video, and I will do some more information. But what it does is it lets you, it does a lot of things, but for educational purposes, it lets me go back and look at a calendar of what I've posted on Fridays. So since we're talking about that, I'm going to go show this here. So let's see here. Which block is Friday? So Fridays are right here. Okay, that was July 4th, so I'm not going to show that because that's kind of a special thing. Okay, so July 11th looks like this was a Friday one. Let me make sure that was yeah, so you can see this is actually a great example of a daily posting routine for me. So in the morning, I'll post something that's more of educational content, like this is a design guide for ground source heat pumps, right? Internet's a little slow, so it's not populating here real quick. But so you wouldn't want to post that on like right now. It's almost 5 o'clock on a Friday. No one wants to read a design guide on water source heat pumps. Midday, I posted a video of me asking a question. Hey, do you use thread sealant on flare fittings? I think that video did fairly well. 6,000 views, it's not bad. And then for my afternoon post, this is a really good example. So it says here, you survived another week in HVAC. That alone is worth a restful weekend. And the work week isn't always glamorous. The hours aren't always kind. And half the time you're solving problems no one ever even sees. But you showed up again. And so whether you crushed it or barely held it together, respect. Now go rest up and, you've earned it. And I posted this, this is called a meme. So I'm going to do more videos on what a meme is and how to create these. But on the top one, it's me looking, kind of goofy. I just don't want to look like an idiot talking to the camera, talking to the audience. And it says here, this is Rob Tanner, my friend, and he's talking he's talking to me, right? He didn't say this to me, but it looks like he's talking to me. You just survived another week in HVAC. Look however the heck you want, right? So I'm worried about looking like an idiot on camera, and he said, hey, man, you survived. You did good enough. So it kind of fits into the theme of the post. So I think you get that, right? Hey, you did good. If you tried, you did the best you could. Don't beat yourself up. Now let's relax for the weekend. Okay, so let's look at the next Friday. So this one's a lot of fun. So this is this is going to require its own separate video because this one did really well. let me see if I could find it here. So this one got about 54,000 impressions. So this is another meme. The reason I posted this is because if you saw this trending video going around of the couple that got caught at the Coldplay concert, it was a man with a woman who was not his wife. And the Coldplay guy, the singer, I don't know his name, pointed out in the video, oh, they must be having an affair or something. Joke. Well, they were, and he got busted. So this is a take on that situation. I'll do a separate video on how I came up with this. And memes are a great way to relate to your audience. And the reason I posted this on Friday afternoon, because it had just broken the day before and the internet was crazy with this stuff. So this plays into the whole, there's a couple things that make this work. One is it's a meme, which is like the language of the internet. It's like an inside joke for you and your community. The other is relevance. So a lot of relevance because it was going around in the news and on the internet. Okay, so let's go back to the calendar. So for today, let me see, do I have any other Fridays in here? I think that was last Friday. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do today. Now I'm going to go to Canva. So let's talk about, this is a photo I took this morning. Actually, I'm wearing the same shirt because I just got home. Let's talk about selfies for a second, and then we'll look at how I'm using this in the post. So there's all different ways to do a selfie. I'm using my phone as a camera. I can't show you. You could do it right into the camera, like this, using the rear camera. That's the rear camera there. That's the powerful camera. You could do the front camera, which is the one you typically do when you're looking in there and take a photo. You could do it, you could set the phone down and you could back up and be looking at the camera and use the timer, or you could be looking off to the distance like I'm kind of doing here. Or you could have someone take your photos. So all different ways to do it. Now I could tell you the selfie in the mirror, so I'm pointing that at a mirror taking a picture of me and I'm looking off into the distance. Those do really well for me. I don't know why. So the point of that is you got to play around with different ways to take your photo. I think I got a little something on my shirt. My favorite shirt, oh my gosh. So you got to play around with different ways to take the photo, and then you'll find stuff that work. I could tell you if I was just taking it with me looking in the camera, it's probably not going to do as good as this is going to do. Okay, so we've got the photo. That's a little bit about selfies. Now, relevance. Why is this relevant? Because I've been on a trip all week and I've been posting about that, so it fits into the natural course of the weekly posts I've been doing. It also has, what does it look like I'm doing there? It's Friday afternoon and I'm posting this. I'm going home. I'm getting out of the hotel. I got my backpack on. I've got my I intentionally, all this was intentional. I had my luggage in there. I took it so the logo, HVAC TV, was in there to get a little branding. And then I put it into Canva, which is here. Now, when you put an image into Canva, I'm going to copy this, duplicate this, and I'm going to detach it from the background. The ratio is like this, so that it doesn't fit, right? So it's like that. So you want to do is make it a little bit bigger to fit into this square. And let me talk about, I should have talked about the ratio first. So when you're posting an image on LinkedIn, the best ratio is this 4:5, which is, if you go to the resize button here, custom size, 1080 by 1350. Okay, so you want to do a 1080 by 1350 when you can. Sometimes I do landscape, sometimes I do it, skinnier than that, but this is the standard. So if you're going to create a template in Canva, do that. If you go to Canva, there's this Instagram 4:5 here. That's the one it is, the standard one. All right, so back to the photo. So I took the photo, I put it in here, I did a little color correction to it, and then I added my signature, which you probably see on most of my stuff. I just started doing that about a year ago. That's a great way to brand it. It looks classy. It brings it to another level. Okay, so I did that. All right. So the next thing I did is, what is the text I want to put to this? Now, sometimes I have something in my head like I want to impart this. It's Friday afternoon. Here's the message I want to tell. Sometimes I have an image which I really like, and I think what message would fit with that is applicable to Friday afternoon. So I do it all different ways. In this case, I had this image. I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. It shows I'm on the go, yada, yada, yada. I'm coming back. It's relevant for a Friday afternoon. So the text I came up with was, and a lot of times I'll do this in ChatGPT, but this time I just had it in the top of my head as to what I was going to say. And let me go back to, let me see if it's in here. I don't think it's in here because, yeah. So this program does not pick up when you schedule something from your phone. So the text I came up with was, let me see, what time is it? Maybe I could pull it up. Okay, so the text I came up with was, if you've made it through this week without killing somebody or going to jail, I'm proud of you. Nice work. Or something along those lines. So the reason I'm posting that is going to kind of been, I heard somebody say something about that on Instagram, like, you know, I'm going to turn this problem over to God because if I got to handle it, I'm going to go to jail. And I made a note about that in my notes app because I thought that was kind of fun. And I've been looking for a reason to apply that. So anyway, I'm applying a version of that. If you made it through this week without killing anybody or going to jail, I'm proud of you. Nice job. Okay, so that's kind of what I came up with here for the text. So I'm going to put this in LinkedIn. I'm going to post that, and then I'll show it here in a minute. Let me see if I can post it. Let me pause this video and see if I can post it and show it here. Okay, so I'm back. I played around with that on my phone. I was using my phone for the camera, so that's why I had to do that. So now I'm using my Mac camera, which is probably not as good. But anyway, so I went ahead and posted that, and I just wanted to finish this off by showing it how it came up in the feed. So it looks good. I like it. It's got good energy. There's a little bit of branding there. It's relevant to Friday afternoon. If you made it through the work week without killing anyone or ending up in jail, I'm proud of you. Nice work. So it's a good Friday afternoon, kind of relaxing. I'm trying to be a little bit funny there. But what that does is it's relatable, right? You don't want to post things, like I said earlier, that are highly technical or highly critical of somebody of how they did this week, because a lot of, people are people. No matter how hard you work, and I work very hard, and I'm very proud of, what I get to accomplish during the week. But sometimes on a Friday, I feel like, oh, did I do enough? I didn't do that right. Or, I'm having these kind of negative thoughts, and I don't want to make anyone feel bad about that. What I want to do is make people feel like I get it. Like I understand, right? I'm a human too, and the worst kind of posting I think is the ones where you got it all together. Like, hey, I crushed it this week, and I'm already going to start crushing it on Monday in my head. And you're doing all this like true champion kind of BS. To me, that's a bunch of baloney. It doesn't really work. It definitely doesn't relate to your audience well. So anyway, I hope this video made sense. Hit me up in the chat if you got questions, if you got comments. I'm glad to answer any of them. And that's it. That's a good little Friday afternoon posting advice from Tony. So I hope you, if it's Friday where you're at, have a good weekend. Thanks.